Hey guys, Marcin here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to talk about an interesting subject that I have seen people going back and forth on quite a bit as we get closer to the global Dokkan campaign. It is something that was talked about when the 10th anniversary did in fact happen and we debuted this new sort of setup for the first time. People had discussions even then as to whether this would be something that we would want to actually see again in the future. And that is, of course, as you can see, I mean, it'll be the title and the thumbnail anyway, but you can see here, I reposted Toon's poll from the other day. And this is the 4 LRs versus 6 LRs for like the anniversary, or obviously in this case specifically for the global Dokkan campaign, which is an anniversary level celebration. Which of these two do you guys think is better, 4 LRs or 6 LRs? And so Toon made a poll. Would you guys prefer we get 6 LRs or 4? And as you can see, his poll got 17,000 votes and 77% was for 4 LRs. So I'm not going to work it out completely like, you know, quick maths style, but that's somewhere around like 12,000 people voting for 4 and only like 5,000 people voting for 6. Somewhere around there, because it's basically, it's close to 75%, right? It's like a quarter versus 3/4. Now, he retweeted or posted the poll results, because the poll's from a YouTube poll. Kind of surprised by this, honestly. So I, of course, retweeted it, and like, I don't know why people would be surprised. We talked about this quite a lot on the stream that I did last night. So shout out to everyone who was there. Shout out to everyone, check out the channel. We do have the latest episode of the Slot 1 Super Podcast will be airing tonight. That will be live 2 hours after this video first goes up. So if you are seeing this, if you're new to the channel, I do a Dokkan podcast every other week with Minato's Flash and Vilify, just going over everything that's been going on in Dokkan, and the next episode of that is going to be live tonight. So do subscribe to the channel, come and check that out live. But yeah, the 4 LRs versus 6 LRs. I personally don't understand why anyone would want 6 LRs. It's cool to get more characters, I guess, but when you think about all the different aspects that go into it, like there have been a lot of interesting arguments. Now, I don't necessarily subscribe to this like 100% or anything, but like a lot of people complained about some of the LRs from the 10th anniversary, and we are going to take a look at them all here very quickly in a minute. And so some people complained whether it was the quality of the kit, whether it was the quality of some of the animations. That we know that Dokkan has said previously in like some of their Q&As that when it comes to big anniversary level characters, they can take 6 months or more to create and design like in full. So it just goes without saying that, like, I mean, this is just common sense. Like whether or not you think, you know, it should have any bearing, or, you know, they should just get more staff if they want to do something like that. It is very simple, like the most simplest of maths, to say that doing 6 LRs is more work than doing 4 LRs. So depending on the amount of time that they have and the resources that they have available, staffing, all that kind of stuff, doing 6 LRs instead of 4 LRs means they have a lot more work to be done in potentially the same amount of time and potentially the same amount of resources, which means that almost without argument, like the quality level is going to suffer a little bit when you're trying to do 6 things in the time that you would normally do 4 things. Now, obviously, you know, if they got extra staffing in for it, or they had extra budget and stuff because it's the 10th anniversary, you know, then it doesn't necessarily mean that that has to be the case. And it is something that is very difficult to like concretely prove. Like, we can't literally say, well, because there were 6 LRs, that's why like Blue Evolution Vegeta isn't very good, for example. Because we've had celebrations in the past where even when we've only had a dual Dokkan Fest, like Golden Week is a good example, with only 2 characters releasing as the headliners for a celebration, and then Tech Blue Kaioken Goku was hugely disappointing, and they only made 2 characters for that celebration, and one of them wasn't particularly great. So you can't necessarily say just because the number of units released, right, therefore equals bad quality, because we've seen that Dokkan can do celebrations where they release 4 units, like if it is an anniversary, or 2 units for a dual Dokkan Fest, and the units are still bad. So, because this is one of the things I want to say, someone commented, like, because Prof making a joke about heroes, but I mean, honestly, like, again, I would rather they put the time into making 4 units perfect. And we'll talk about the banner thing as well. I don't know if anyone mentions it on here, but this is the thing that I have people say. I personally don't agree with this. I definitely am not saying this. I don't think they purposely made the carnivals bad, or like purposely phoned it in, or purposely didn't put in as much effort, however you want to word it, because there were 6 instead of 4. Because yeah, if all 6 are designed well and all 6 are good, then that's one thing. But we got someone taking it even further. They should have done 8 for the anniversary, so that we could have had new Janemba and a new Kid Buu. Could see another 6. 10th anniversary on that level. Would prefer 4. Give us 4 banger LRs of active skills. Yes, Evo, I'm looking at you. Yeah, no active skill for Evolution Vegeta's a travesty. People will complain about everything. I mean, that is also very true. They will find a reason to complain with just 4 LRs. They should save doing 6 LRs for the anniversary if they ever do it again, which is fair. People will just complain about the carnivals anyway. People don't understand. They will never make all 4 or 6 of the units equal, and never have. I mean, this is very true, right? Like, old anniversary and old celebrations like that always used to be 2 Dokkan Fests in part 1, and then 2 yellow coin LRs in part 2, and then that became carnivals. But like, the part 2 LRs were always worse than the Dokkan Fests, even if it wasn't by a crazy amount. But yeah, keep it simple, give us 4 banger LRs. I think one of the replies is actually on the original post from Toon. I think I saw it's from my boy AC. But yeah, this is the main thing for me, right? 4 is less than 6. I know, crazy, I know. Having 6 means 2 more units that you have to try and pull. At the very least, if you get a Rift or a Zeno or a Whis, you know what you're getting, and there's no coin flip to lose. And yeah, this is the big thing. So like for me, I summoned on part 1, you guys know if you were here for the anniversary, my part 1 luck was terrible. I only pulled Blue Evolution Vegeta from part 1 with all the stones and tickets and everything. Which obviously, if there was only 4 LRs, you know, that would, well, hopefully the one that released would have been Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan 4 Goku and not Blue Evolution. But that would have been a Goku pull, potentially. And I know multiple people out there got like a Goku Black Rift or a Whis or whatever, and they pulled the one of the 2 Carnival LRs that they didn't want. Like, they didn't get the one they would have preferred out of the 2. Yeah, it's funny because we've got Ziad saying give me 6 LRs, and then someone underneath, quite funny, saying I only YouTubers want 6 LRs. Like, even I don't want 6 LRs, because it is 2 more units to have to pull, and like, I don't whale out as much as I used to. Like, I want to be able to go in, get the unit from the banner, and then potentially move on to the other banner or save for part 2, depending on whether I've already pulled the other unit or not. But knowing that, like, even if you go in and you drop a couple of 100 stones and you pull, let's say, the, you know, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan on the part 2 banner, you still have to keep summoning on that banner if you want to pull the Frieza as well. And then if you could end up getting like another like Zeno, and it's just another copy of Gohan, and you still don't have the Frieza. So I think this is one of the big reasons for me that I would personally rather have 4 LRs than 6. I don't necessarily buy in to the whole, like, if we get 6 LRs, then, like, you know, 2 of them are always going to be bad, or the animations are going to be phoned in, or anything like that. So if we take a look here, I brought up the characters here from the anniversary. Now, obviously, in part 1, we had the Tech Goku and Vegeta exchange that fused into Vegito, which even to this point now is still considered like potentially the best unit in the game. The only one that really even comes close that I see people argue about is the physical LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, like with the Easy A. This unit obviously very, very good, but like, I even see people complaining that because there were 6 LRs, that's the reason why like Vegito and Gogeta only have 1 super attack, because like either they just didn't have, well, I don't know what the reasoning is, right? Like, they didn't have time or to give them like a 12 key super. But you got to remember that the card has a Goku and a Vegeta that both have 2 super attacks. They also have the exchange thing where it comes up with like Goku sensing Vegeta's energy and instant transmissioning to him. Then they both have an active skill. So we're already up to like 7 animations. They both have an active skill. And then and one of them is of course fusing into Vegito. So then Vegito himself has an active skill, and he has his 18 key super. So this one card has like 9 animations. So I'm perfectly fine with Vegito and Gogeta only having an 18 key super. It does also create the cool like mechanic that obviously their additional supers are always the ultra super, which I think is cool. But yeah, like, even if there were 4 LRs, Like let's say we didn't get Blue Evolution Vegeta or the Goku Frieza, for example. I still think that this guy would have just had an 18 key super, and I'm still perfectly fine with that, right? Because of the amount of animations that this unit has in total, and I like the fact that they get the additionals, and the additionals are the 18 key super. I think that's cool. So I think that's fine. Obviously, this unit is very, very good. Goku is very, very good. I know there's the big meme, like the whole grandpa, like unskippable cutscene when you transform into Super Saiyan 4, which is kind of annoying. But like, this unit is very, very good. With Daima potentially going to be giving us the giant 8 power buffs, like this should be a very good team, and he's very, very strong. And then, of course, we had Blue Evolution Vegeta. Bear in mind, this guy has multiple animations as well, because he has the active skill to transform into the Great Ape. The Great Ape has a super attack, and then the Great Ape transforms into Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who also has 2 super attacks. So this unit has like 5 supers and 2 transformation animations as well, right? And then we have Blue Evolution Vegeta. Blue Evolution Vegeta, who has an entrance animation, and then he has his 12 key and his 18 key. The only anniversary unit, or the headliner, out of all 6, the only one that does not have an active skill. Why? Now, I know that, again, this is where the big complaint comes in for some people, is like, a lot of people will say, like, this guy is undertuned and doesn't have an active skill because there are 6 LRs instead of 4. And there's no way to know whether that is the case or not, but, like, what were they thinking releasing this guy with no active skill? He's the only one that doesn't have one. Like, he has that punch thing that he does against in the fight with Topo as his card art, but he doesn't have it as part of the card. I don't think any of the Blue Evolution Vegetas in the game do. So that would have been the perfect active skill for him to have, which could have given him like a permanent buff of some kind. Obviously, we could talk about the unit's kit and how it could be better. All of these like extra attacks should be at least high chance to become a super. I personally don't like his animations that much. Like, I was so hyped to see a Blue Evolution Vegeta and UI Goku unit super. And I said it at the time, like when the unit came out, or when we saw the animations. It's hard to explain, but like, it really does feel like they're just kind of, it's just UI Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta thrown together, like, in the same animation, but it's not like they're doing anything together, right? It's not like the Beast Gohan Orange Piccolo active skill, where that feels like very well designed as the two of them attacking together. This one kind of is just like Blue Evolution Vegeta with a slightly different animation, and UI Goku is just there as well, like, which I think is very disappointing, because I think a lot of people are really hyped by the idea of a Blue Evo and UI like join forces type card. I know that's not, it's just a unit super, because that's not something we'd ever seen before, so that would be really, really cool. But yeah, like, just overall, this unit very, very disappointing. Is it because there were 6 LRs? I don't want to say yes, like, because we got 6 LRs, that's why this guy is bad. But I would much rather this guy have come out later and be better than them shoehorning in like 2 extra LRs into the anniversary, right? Because this guy just feels undercooked in almost every way. And then in part 2, we have the Gogeta unit, who, not quite as good as Vegito, although has certain aspects, like the leader skill I think is better. The Vegeta part of the card I think is better than the Goku part. I think the Goku part is definitely better than the Vegeta part from the other card as well. The active skill for Goku with the Veku and then the guaranteed dodge on the next turn I think is really, really effective. So this card is still very, very good. Obviously the Vegito kind of edges out number 1 because of that counter turn, which is just so absolutely ridiculous. But Gogeta's active skill turns crazy too, with the mega buff to everybody else. So this unit, absolutely fantastic. Again, like the Vegito, no 18 key super as Gogeta, but the card has like 9 animations and they all look really good. So I'm not complaining about that at all. And then the part 2 Carnival LRs are where there's a lot of contention. Like, I think the Gohan is really good. I think Gohan is super overhated. There are some people that really act like this guy was a complete fumble. Maybe he's not as good as he could have been. I guess Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is a really popular character. He's a lot of people's favourite like Dragon Ball character, like the Super Saiyan 2 Awakening versus Cell. And this guy is not anything like, I guess people wanted a new Super Saiyan 2 Gohan to be this like mega top tier, like best unit in the game kind of thing. I've seen a lot of people underwhelmed with his animations, and his kit is not perfect by any stretch, but I do think he is very good. And then of course the Goku Frieza on release, a lot of people really didn't like these guys. But like as we got more tournament participant characters and more team builds that they can run on with like Cell and Hit and stuff like that, I think this unit is actually very good and very underrated. But again, like I wasn't hugely impressed by their super attacks. I don't think they're bad. I just think they're very basic. And again, it's something that like, is that because they just tried doing too much, right? And if there was only 4 LRs, these guys' animations would be slightly better. Like, unfortunately, the thing is we don't really have any way to know for sure, but it's certainly something that is worth considering at the very least. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. Do you want 6 LRs again? Do you want 4 LRs? Personally, I think for the sake of players and just like overall stone usage, luck when it comes to summoning, all that kind of stuff, I do think the 4 LRs is better just because it's less units that you have to try and get. And remember, for the anniversary, they gave out the special Purunga Wish stone where you could pick an anniversary headliner of your choice or an older character if you didn't need to get any of the headliners still, which I think in part, obviously they did that because the 10th anniversary was the big special 10 years anniversary celebration, but it also helped with the fact that there were 6 units and you were able to get 1 for free. Whereas obviously if there were only 4 LRs, I feel like they're not going to do that Purunga Stone thing again, right? I think it was a 10th anniversary only. So then that makes it a little bit easier to get all of the anniversary units that come out, or the GDC units, if there are only 4, because you don't have this extra free way to get one of them. Because like I only got Super Saiyan 4 Goku by using the Purunga Wish, because my luck in part 2 was way better than part 1. I pulled all 3 of the part 2 units in about 500 stones, and so then I used the pity to get Vegito, and then that would have been it, right? And I just wouldn't have had Goku, and then the Purunga Stone came along and I got Goku, so I ended the anniversary with at least 1 copy of all of the units. If there were only 4 units, then obviously I would have got all of the part 2 units with my summons, could have pitied the Vegito, and then just be done and still have stones left, because I wouldn't have had to have summoned as much on the part 2 anyway, because there were only 2 units to get instead of 3. So it's an interesting one. I personally don't put a huge amount of stock into like if there's 6 LRs, like 2 of them are always going to be bad, or the animations are going to be phoned in or anything like that. But as some people have said, I would rather there be 4 absolute banger LRs that all have really good kits, active skills, really good quality animations, than getting 6 LRs, but then by the end of the celebration, everyone's like, oh, well, I don't really like this one. Like, this one's not particularly good. Like, I'd rather they put the full focus into the 4. And as I said earlier, as a player, it makes it much easier to walk away from the celebration with all the units if there are 4 instead of 6, because you don't have 2 extra units to chase, and you don't get stuck into that horrible, like I've seen it happen to people. I think it happened to Prof with like back-to-back Blue Evolution Vegeta pulls, where you've pulled one of the new units from the banner and then you get like a Goku Black Rift, and it's the one you've already pulled, so you've still got to keep summoning on the banner because you don't have the other one. So hopefully, for me, like I say, hopefully it's 4 LRs and not 6. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you prefer 6 over 4? If so, let me know why. And obviously, if you agree and you prefer 4 over 6, let me know why. Do you agree with some of the stuff I've said, or do you have your own thoughts as well? Let me know all of that good stuff down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.